What if global peace decisions could come with a price tag, not metaphorically, but literally? What if a seat at the table for rebuilding a war-torn region cost $1 billion in cash? Today's story sits right at the intersection of power, money, and international law. In a move that has sparked intense global scrutiny, reports reveal that the Trump administration's proposed Board of Peace, an international body meant to oversee ceasefire and reconstruction efforts in Gaza, includes a controversial provision. Nations may secure permanent membership by paying $1 billion. This proposal, drawn from draft charter language circulating among diplomats, has raised serious legal, diplomatic, and ethical questions. Not just about Gaza, but about how international governance itself may be evolving. Let's break it down. According to the draft charter, member states of the Board of Peace would normally serve 3-year terms. However, there's a significant exception. Any nation that contributes at least $1 billion within the first year could bypass the term limit entirely and secure permanent membership on the board. That permanent status would come with greater influence over the board's agenda and long-term decision-making. The draft also grants the board's chairman, expected to be United States President Donald Trump, extensive authority. This includes approving memberships, renewing participation, and guiding key decisions about the board's direction. United States officials argue that there is no cost to join the board for a standard 3-year term. The financial contribution, they say, is meant to signal deep commitment to peace and reconstruction, particularly in Gaza. The funds are described as intended for rebuilding and reconstruction efforts. However, critics point out that the draft charter remains vague on key issues like financial oversight, escrow arrangements, and independent accountability mechanisms. And that uncertainty is where the controversy begins. From a legal standpoint, the proposal raises multiple red flags. First, there's the issue of multilateral legitimacy and the role of the United Nations. The Board of Peace was initially endorsed by the United Nations Security Council in late 2025 as part of a ceasefire framework for Gaza. However, tying governance power to financial contributions challenges long-standing international norms built on equal sovereignty. Several European and Middle Eastern nations have already expressed skepticism, warning that this structure could weaken established United Nations peace mechanisms and reshape global decision-making in troubling ways. Second, there's the question of control and oversight of funds. International bodies handling large reconstruction sums, especially in conflict zones, are typically required to establish transparent fiduciary systems, independent audits, and donor accountability frameworks. Yet critics note that the draft language places significant control in the hands of the board's chairman. That raises concerns about financial transparency, donor rights, and accountability to the very people these funds are meant to help. Given that Gaza reconstruction funds fall under humanitarian and international humanitarian law considerations, this lack of clarity could invite legal challenges and donor country scrutiny. Third, there's the issue of equity among member states. Permanent membership based on wealth departs sharply from traditional international governance principles, where participation is grounded in sovereign equality rather than financial capacity. Legal scholars warn that this could set a precedent for a T-tier global system, one in which influence is bought rather than collectively earned. Diplomatic reactions have been mixed. Several countries, including Canada, India, Jordan, Greece, Cyprus, Pakistan, Hungary, and Vietnam, have reportedly received invitations and shown varying levels of openness to participating. Others, however, have been more critical. Israel's government has publicly questioned aspects of the board structure, particularly concerns around policy coordination on security and governance in Gaza. Meanwhile, the White House has pushed back against claims that nations must pay to join, calling such interpretations misleading. Officials argue that permanent membership would reflect a profound commitment to peace and reconstruction, not simply a financial transaction. Still, the presence of a billion-dollar threshold has kept the debate alive. Beyond Gaza, legal analysts are looking ahead. If the Board of Peace expands its mandate toward global conflict resolution, as some draft language suggests, it could intersect with core principles of the United Nations Charter, including collective security, sovereign equality, and non-discrimination. There's also the question of legal authority. Unlike the United Nations Security Council, whose power is grounded in binding international law, the Board of Peace would rely on its charter and domestic implementation by participating states. Without a robust treaty framework, its decisions could face challenges in enforcement and heightened scrutiny in international legal forums. As world leaders review invitations and await the final version of the charter, legal observers caution that the billion-dollar provision could take one of two paths. It could quietly fade into irrelevance, a clause few nations choose to invoke, or it could become a flashpoint for global debates about power, money, and the future of international governance. Ultimately, the board's credibility will depend on how transparently and equitably it addresses funding, oversight, and member rights in its final framework. This story isn't just about Gaza. It's about how peace is structured, who gets a voice, and whether global governance is shifting toward influence by wealth. If you found this breakdown helpful, like this video, share it with someone who follows global affairs, and subscribe for more clear, in-depth analysis on international politics and law. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.